Chick tick. Right, the same.
I was wondering about big announcement when we started with digital agency.
My son went.
Are you serious?
I think he's taking my place.
Strategic.
Hello, check, check.
But
I'll have some on, rather not.
have someone to go to. We'll give her his but you know. Diane used to share it with me. I used to not be to do that. And I guess I was rude or something. But when we first put off, you know, and actually, and that was fun because I still knew some of the people, you know. But you know, yeah, I just couldn't. So I drove Philip and Jamie together. Then I went to Helen because he's on my board.
Has anybody seen this one?
You know, and waited on them, and it's just in the car, and they were like, we're starving. And I'm like, just, and that, I had to go Taco Bell. I had to go Taco Bell. Starving to death. I'm like, so anyway, it was kind of like high school, you know. I said, okay, we're going to talk. So I drove to Taco Bell, took them home.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started here, at least with the formalities. I know pretty much everybody in the room except for you. What's your name? Sheila. From where? Marathon, right. So today we want to look at social media in regards to entertainment. And what I mean by that is, how do you utilize this technology that doesn't want to be used as what you want to use it for? Now let me explain very briefly. Facebook, Twitter, these businesses, these companies were not created to do social media the way that we know it today. They were created to really give people a voice in the ever-changing technological landscape that we call, the internet, or whatever you want to call it. So the idea that for years and years we showed people the products we wanted them to buy, we talked about them on the radio, we printed them in the paper. Now that's not the best market to do that anymore. The best market's going to be doing it on your own. The best thing to do first is think of your business as an extension or brand of your overall message. That really will help set things in perspective, because you're always going to have that initial idea. Let's take Clear Channel for example. Clear Channel is a media company, but all of their stations are considered brands of that company. iHeartRadio, same thing. And that's just something that's really worked for us. As I mentioned, it adds another message to your overall message, so you get that extra audience that you're looking for. Social media, as we all know, we're all here, so it's very hot right now, catching quickly. But these social medias were not designed to do what we want them to do. What we want them to do is advertise our products for us. Well, they weren't designed to do that. So you have to kind of be a little crafty in how you craft your message, and we'll go through that as well. If you don't have one, the other doesn't work either. So, for example, that would mean like, if you started with Facebook, really heavy on it, but don't do anything with Twitter, then you're going to miss out on that audience. So it's important to utilize as many social medias as possible that are relevant to your brand. Now, you may be in the entertainment business like myself, and LinkedIn really isn't a social media that you're going to associate that much with. But Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Foursquare, all the stuff that involves some type of client-based program. And that means basically where people are going to sponsor your message. But you have to craft it in a way that it doesn't look that way. So for example, I might say, Kentucky Music Trail tickets now on sale, Paramount Arts Center, Dwight Yoakam. Make it sound like it's an event that I'm promoting, but in reality I'm promoting the trail. So that's the whole idea about social media entertainment. It's important that you, and I mentioned this, identify which one works for you. If you find that one isn't working for your business, leave it alone. There's no point in digging yourself into a deeper hole Because what will happen is if you get into a social media that just kind of dies on you, you're wasting your opportunities that you could be doing other media that may work better for you. Marathon, I definitely probably wouldn't get a Pinterest account. I mean, as gorgeous as the campus is at Marathon, I don't know that people will be tending it to very many boards. So that may be something that you need to think about. Will Pinterest pass along my message? Because some businesses are very informational and some are very visual. So really, which social media you go with depends on what message you want to tell. Become comfortable with social media. Learn it. Play with it. Do things wrong. Ask questions. Come to conferences. It can only benefit you in the long run. I mean, social media is the one thing in life that's still free, at least for now. And why not utilize that and find out what will work best for you? Mobility is the way of the future. I can't stress this enough. Look at everybody sitting at the table. Used to be I'd see portfolios and notebooks. Now I see tablets. I don't even just have the cell phone conversation. I was actually a part of the generation that didn't have cell phones, believe it or not, one of the last ones. So everything is going mobile. We recently at Clear Channel had a website redesign that we optimized for mobile viewing because our statistics showed that more people visited us mobilely than on a standard PC, laptop, or desktop, or whatever. So again, it goes back to the other point, which social media is going to work for you. If your business doesn't really need that mobility factor, you still should have it. Because you never know who is going to be looking at your message and when and why. There could be a student from out of town wanting to know more about the company, Or in the case of the Kentucky Music Trail, what is it? How do I find out more about it? Mobile is definitely the way to go. You'll really find success when you find that common ground, where you get into the groove, just like anything else. It may be Facebook, it may be Twitter, it may be YouTube. You're going to get on it, and you're just going to get it. Facebook was a lot like that for me in the beginning. I got it. I understood why it was around. I understood what its purpose was. If you don't understand that, you're not going to do the social media very well. Foursquare was one that I really fought kicking and screaming when it first came out. I was like, I don't want to learn another one, And turns out it's a really great program. It's really great for what we're trying to do, and that's my job. So social media is only one part of this big puzzle that we're trying to put together to achieve success. Okay, it's only one factor. In entertainment, I really group things into three separate categories. Social media, your website, which is kind of like your anchor of your brand if you're talking in a digital sense, and the talent that you're dealing with. So the idea is that when you combine all these, you create what's called the sweet spot. That place right in the middle where you're actually giving exactly what you need to give to get your message out. Now, you may spend a lot of time here, or here, or here, and you will be successful, but never as successful as you are until you get to that point. So this presentation I'm doing is going to focus a little bit more on Facebook and the other social medias because that's the one we use more. It also has the ability to share things from Facebook over to other social medias like Twitter, Reddit, Pinterest. Instagram was purchased by Facebook, so that's now part of it. So that's what we'll be focusing on mostly in my session here. The first thing you have to realize is that Facebook was invented as a social media, not a profit media. It was not made to broadcast advertising messages. It was made to connect students. When Facebook first originated, does anybody know how you got a Facebook account when it first came out? What one thing you had to have is say it again?
Invitation.
Close, but not quite. That actually was for Gmail.
Okay.
In the beginning, you had to have an invitation for Gmail.
.edu.
There you go. .edu. College kids. If you had a .com or a .net, they didn't want you. And that was so crazy. That was revolutionary. Nobody ever did that. Said, you know what? We want to take the young people. You guys get everything. We want the young demographic. And what demographic is a business always trying to reach? The kids, the teenagers, the ones that have the money to spend on whatever that may be. Facebook, for the longest time, didn't allow any kind of business practices in there, and you could get shut down if you were broadcasting a message that had to do with profit. Very tricky business. They have strict guidelines in place, guidelines on the cover image, on your profile picture, on your feed, on your profile. There's all kinds of limits. And sometimes users don't even know about it. You know, our cover image for one of our radio stations, I put some text in there. One time I got an email from Facebook, from Burbank, California. It said, you are not allowed to do this. Please take it off within 24 hours or your profile will be shut down. Crazy. It was nuts. I couldn't believe it. There's certainly other social medias to look at, again, depending on what your message of your business is. Twitter, Pinterest, Snapchat, which is a chatting program, fairly new, but I really haven't interacted all that much with Snapchat yet. I've been looking into it a lot this week. Foursquare, which is the check-in service that allows you to check in as a mayor, commissioner, whatever you do. I'm like I said, I was very reserved about Foursquare, but used a lot more than I did. Tout, this is a video service, an entertainment-based video service, actually used by the WWE, the wrestling. They started this service because they wanted fans to interact, to have that exclusivity of having your message shown on national television. And these videos are only 15, 20 seconds long. Hey, I think Undertaker's going to be Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania. Now, why is that important to a business leader? You see your demographic. You see what you're getting, and you see what other people want. So that will probably be a lot bigger. And of course, YouTube, which we do utilize at the radio station. A very visual social media. The more you know about social media, the more successful your goals will be. Again, that all goes back to playing with it, knowing what you're doing, knowing what it does, and knowing what it will do for your brand. Jenny hates when I say this. There are no experts on social media, frankly. There aren't, because it's ever changing. Just when I think I know it all, a new one comes out. And that's what everybody's talking about. So, I mean, there are no experts. I'm not an expert, you're not an expert, nobody is, because it's just such a changing landscape. Now, you have people that are very knowledgeable in it and know a lot about it, but there are no experts, because it's always changing. Know when to quit, sort of. So I'm not a quitter, but sometimes in business, time is of value. Actually, all the time, really. If there's a social media that I'm interacting with and it takes me 15 minutes to log in because I'm going through and jumping all these hoops and entering all this information, it's not worth my time, because I know who my listener is, and I know they won't waste their time. So why am I doing it? So sometimes, even though you have that work ethic and you want to get better and you want to do better, sometimes you just need to quit while you're ahead. Every business, when you have a strategy, a business strategy has a goal. No different in social media. You should have a goal of what you want it to accomplish for you. That may be who you want to market your message to. It may be, it could be anything, really. I mean, I've seen Facebook post about the most menial things and the most biggest things, or largest, rather. Ineffective messages don't work. So if you're just posting to post, people will see that. They'll cut through that. They'll say, well, these people don't really care because this is just regurgitated information. So you have to be personable with it. You have to give it a face. If you post as a company, nobody's going to connect with you. You have to post as Blake or Zip or Sue. You have to post as those people and say, hey, this is Zip at Clear Channel. Come see this. That tells people, okay, at least there's somebody that's going to be there, and it's not this huge thing. Pictures on Facebook used to be the way to go. Used to be the way to do it. Memes, you've heard that term. Very hot last year. Thought it was going to take over. Well, now Facebook changes their thing. Now it's not so much. Now words carry more weight in terms of your audience than a picture would. So think about that too. You're going to reach more people with plain, straight up text than you are with a link or a photo. Back in the day, it used to be just, if you got it, you got it. But now Facebook has filtered their searches so specifically to the user that unless my user for me is an X1063 listener and listens all the time and comes to visit us all the time, excuse me, they won't see our message. So when I'm talking about posting a link to the website, maybe I just want to put check out x1063.com for more. Or maybe instead of sharing a graphic about Boston Marathon explosion, maybe I say we have full coverage of the Boston Marathon here, key100.com. So the idea is that links and pictures may not always do it for you. If you really want to have an effective message, words are the best way to go, especially with Facebook. Where do you want social media to take you? What do you want to accomplish? This all goes back to making a goal. Do you want it to get you a younger audience? Do you want it to give you more customers? Different thinking? It's really, you have to brainstorm with the people that you work with and figure all this stuff out, just like you would with any other goal. The important thing to realize is that social media is a very important brand. It's a very important extension of what you do. And it can't just be, oh, okay, we'll do social media, somebody can do that. It's got to be, and a lot of companies have their own departments now for social media, dedicated to social media. So, about making your brand sizzle, the video you're about to watch is called a sizzle reel that Clear Channel does. This is a way that we try to attract local advertisers to our brand, particularly the iHeartRadio Music Festival. I have this sound. All right. I do not envy the person who had to create that. If you've ever done video, you know that. So let's talk about what we just saw. What's your all's impression of what you saw? What does it make? Like if I brought that into your business and said, I want you to commit $400 and be a sponsor of this, what jumped out at you in that video, if anything? Like anything? Right. Entertaining, right? Not like a product, but like an event, like something you're invited to, even though you're paying for it. It's like you are part of something bigger than you can even imagine. 1 billion tweets, 3.6 million social impressions. That means 3.6 billion people at one point were talking about it. I watched it on Xbox. Yeah, I can't see it on television, so I didn't want to listen to it. I wanted to see it. So the idea is Clear Channel takes these ideas out to these companies, and because they present it as an entertainment type event, they make more money off of it. But the data in that spot is really what I want you to pay attention to. How much data did you see? Tons. 1 billion press impressions. 600 radio stations nationwide. This is information meant to catch your attention in this ever-changing technological world with all these social medias that we are plugged in. and we can get that audience. With any social media you deal with, less is always more. If you write a book in your status, I'm not reading it. If I see that little read more thing that pops up on your status, I'm like, or yeah, whatever it may be, or your text message goes into 2 messages because it's so long. I'm like, no, I do not want to hear it. If I want to read a book, I go to the library. So the idea is that to grab people's attention, the human brain, when it sees text, if it sees more text than it can handle, it shuts down. It's not interesting. Like he was saying this morning about swiping your finger on the phone, same concept. If your message is too big, nobody's going to read it, frankly. The great thing about Facebook is it really, if you know how to work it, it can put your message front and center with your audience. Meaning that when you want it to, it will let them know about what you want to let them know about. And there are all types of software that schedule posts and track analytics and all this stuff that you can look into. We have our own Clear Channel owned system that we use, but I have used Google Analytics for some personal sites and some of the other Omniture and stuff that Adobe does with meters. So, definitely want to make sure that you know that people are seeing your message at the beginning. We all want to reach everyone. We want the city of Ashland to come to the Kentucky Music Trail, but unfortunately, that probably won't happen. Understand that. Understand that you're not going to start a Facebook account and instantly get 400 new customers. Work within your means. You know who this will benefit, and that all goes back to your goal of social media. This is my favorite point in the whole presentation. That says, overposting equals annoying. Okay? Overposting is when you post too much. Posting constantly, all day long. You know who I'm talking about. These people post constantly, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Well, eventually you associate their name on your feed with something you don't want to deal with. Because you may have read their first thing, you may have read their second thing, you may have even gone past that. But let's face it, social media is something that's meant to be social. Not something that you're stuck on one person for 4 hours reading all their status updates. So just remember that, there's this idea of less is more, and that overposting can lead to a big turnoff with your visitors.
It also creates cannibalism too.
That's it, definitely. Cannibalism. Perfect.
You need to tell us what that means.
Cannibalism? It's like, it's kind of setting yourself up.
Facebook has an algorithm where they only will show your followers certain stuff.
Right.
And it judges based on the algorithm what to show you. If you post one thing and then an hour later post something else, well, most of your followers, if they even see any of those, they're only going to see one or the other. So if you have one, it's actually, hey, this is something you actually need to see, and the other one's like, oh, it's such a beautiful day.
Mm.
Well, if you have that, it's a beautiful day out there, and so the thing you actually want people to see, you're SOL.
When you're talking about cannibalism, I like to use this eulogy that somebody gave me. You can tell I've been here all day. By the way, I started out in a suit, just so you know. Slowly stripped away the layers throughout the day. I compare it to, imagine if you walked into someone's conversation and they said, and then I just killed him. What? No. So you freak out because you don't know what the rest of that conversation may have been. So cannibalism refers to you maybe having a generalized theme with what you're saying, but because Facebook and Twitter and that stuff works the way it works, they may not know what you're talking about, is what he's saying. So you may say, oh, it's gorgeous outside. But they didn't see before, you said, I've just come back from Key West and the weather was great. Make sense? A little bit?
Thank you.
Sure. I love this meme. This is probably my most favorite meme that I ever posted to the X163 Facebook. For those of you who can't see this very well, I know it's kind of blurry. This is the guitar player Slash for Guns N' Roses. You guys know who Slash is? You know what he looks like? The hair, hat, all that? So it says, how we see Slash as a guitar god, which he is, and how he sees us, which is just a full slit in his hair with a bunch of crowd. Well, that was hilarious. So I ended up sharing it to our Facebook because when you think about an X1063 listener, a rock listener per se, and this goes along mainly focused on the X, I know what that listener is. It's me. It's a 30-year-old male with kids, with a job, getting up every morning. That's who our target listener is. That's who's listening. So I said, I know Guns N' Roses. I love Guns N' Roses. Slash is a god. I want to put this up. And look, 7,570 people by the time it was over liked the photo. And this is after Facebook's policies kicked in on photos. Now, I'll circle both these numbers because it's important to know what this means because you've got two totally insanely different numbers. At the bottom, you see it says 2,981 people saw this post. What? I had 7,500 that liked it. So what's up with that? It's different. You know, just because you like something doesn't mean you read it. You know, you could pass it very quickly on your feed, hit like, and be done with it. This metric actually measures who clicked on the photo and looked at it. Does that make sense? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And again, that's Facebook trying to defend itself from business, from spam. It's defending itself. It's saying, we're going to give you your like metrics, but if they're not really looking, and this happened because people would put coupons on it, right? Share this coupon and you get 50% off your meal at McDonald's. Well, Facebook saw that and said, no way. Get it off. And it didn't happen, so eventually they coded it so it would come up. That's why you ever see a coupon on Facebook anymore? No. They got rid of it. So we're going to take a look at two posts that I posted last week during the Boston bombings in Boston, which was horrible, by the way. Let's take a look at these two posts. And I'll read it for you. One says, doctors at a local medical facility in Boston, Massachusetts, reporting several injuries from explosions at Boston Marathon finish line, followed the story below, and then the link. This one here on the right says, WSAZ News Channel 3 reports there were 46 Boston Marathon runners from West Virginia, 120 from Kentucky, and 680 from Ohio. Ah! Doesn't say on very well, does it? Okay. So let's step over here and look at this left post here. Posted at about 4:36 p.m. Had 8,094 likes, okay? Which that's the station. 221 people saw this post. This one right here. And that happened at 4:36, okay? So let's look over here. 4:46, 2,163. 10 minutes later, okay? So look, I mean, who can see the difference? Who knows what the difference is, why one got more than the other? You know? It's the link. I put a link to the story in the one on the left. I didn't put one on the right. I put local information. Everybody knows what WSAZ News Channel 3 is. Everybody knows that we're in the tri-state area with West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio. So they're more inapt, more inapt to click on that and see what you're talking about. And this goes a lot back to what I was saying in the beginning about Facebook changing its policies to affect business. That way these links don't show up on everybody's page like they used to. So sometimes you have to go with text, because with text, it's not anchored by anything. You know, you don't have anything holding you back or holding you down. You know, you get your message out there, and Facebook, as long as you type in text, they assume you're saying, hanging at McDonald's loving. But you're actually appealing to your visitors. Two stories were posted 10 minutes apart. Same exact topic, no change in that. The post without the link gets 10 times more views than the post. Just another idea. Sometimes words tell the story a lot better than anything else. So how do you measure success with Facebook? Well, there's a lot of things. There's insights which are available if you have a Facebook page. If you do, you know what I'm talking about. Click the little show button and it drops down and gives you all the information. It tells you who's liking your stuff, where they're from, where they came from, what they like, and so on and so forth. Feedback. Listen to your customers. You know, I can't tell you how many emails I get a day saying, I hate iHeartRadio, go to hell. I email back and say, well, do you like music? I interact with the people. I'm not afraid of them. It's not personal. They don't not like me. You know, they don't agree with our brand. So it's my job in the digital realm anyway to try to get that like. Get them to like our brand, know that we are with you, we are local. Even though we work for a huge conglomerate, it's strictly business. Don't ignore the problems and don't focus on your successes. I can't tell you how many Facebook pages have failed because they thought they arrived and were done. It constantly goes on. All hours of the day, all hours of the night, every day, and the weekends. So it's definitely not going away anytime soon. People want that interaction. They don't want to be friends with a robot or an invisible person that posts every other week. Personalize your media to make it, you know, like they're having a conversation with one of their friends. You know, that's the first thing they teach us when we go on the mic on the radio, is you're not talking to a crowd of 50,000, you're talking to your best friend, right? When you open the mic. And that just creates that delivery, that personality about it. Too busy? Tough shit. Social media does not rest for anyone. Nobody. Even the president, you know, LeBron James, to go on with Eric's idea earlier. Everybody has to do it. And if you don't do it, it won't work for you. If you say, I'm going to start it just so I say I have it, you know, you haven't got a Facebook page. How many times do you post on it? Once or twice a month. They're out the door. They don't want to hear it. This is the new media for them. This is the new thing, the fad, if you will. So, just because it doesn't exist. Home, playing with the kids, little league games, all that stuff, you still have to interact. You know? Interact about your little league game. Hey, this is Zip on the X. Just saw my son hit a grand slam out of the park. Awesome. Join me on X163 tomorrow. We'll talk about it. So the idea is that you open up this window into your personality. You're no longer this huge celebrity that can't be touched. The J.D. Millers and Gary Music Millers of the world. They don't exist anymore. Now it's me and you, everybody. Everybody has their own voice. Don't get comfortable. I made that mistake. I got very comfortable with where we were socially in terms of social media. Here comes YouTube. Had no clue. And I've been doing this for about 10 years probably. So I saw the formation of all this stuff become social media back when it was just stuff for kids to what it is now, an actual element of a business. Okay, enough on Facebook. Let's switch over and talk about the other big social media element that we use in entertainment called Twitter. So who has a Twitter account? Everybody? You don't? Okay. That's all right. This is Twitter's positioning statement. Created in 2006, 400 million monthly visitors, 200 million monthly active users. That means ones that actually get on and use it. 1 billion tweets every 2.5 days on every conceivable topic. And that is the fact. Okay? Just like you tell your friends, you can find anything on eBay. Well, you can find anything that anyone's talking about on Twitter, no matter how crazy or obscure. Okay, we'll play a little game here. I've got the top 5 Twitter users today. We're going to see if we can guess one or something. Okay? So, I'll do this one. I'll do number 5, and then we'll go from 4 to 1 and find out if we can guess. So number 5 is the lovely and talented Rihanna. Love Rihanna. Gorgeous lady. 29,240,008 followers. That's insane. 30 million people want to know what she has to say. Incredible. All right, who thinks they got number 4? Anybody?
Taylor Swift.
No. Not even in the list, believe it or not. I was shocked about that.
She's a lot.
Yeah, just tons.
Justin Bieber.
He's on here, but not 4. Who?
No.
Don't know? It's our wonderful President, Barack Obama. Yay. With 30,048,945. About 52,939 want to hear what he has to say on a daily basis. So that is number 4.
So how many people does he have assigned to take care of that account?
Probably several. And that actually has a lot to do with the part of our presentation is there are people, it's their job to blog for these people and tweet for them. And you think Barack Obama is tweeting?
No.
You're crazy.
Just like Calipari, you know.
Do you think, right, do you think that George Clooney is tweeting? Or do you think he's got something better to do? So it's created an industry. It's created a job. What's the last thing you can think of that actually did that created its own workforce than social media?
During the Academy Awards, George Takei was updating Facebook.
He is great on Facebook. If you guys don't follow George Takei, you need to. From Star Trek, hilarious. It's great. Go ahead.
I was just saying it wasn't actually him because it was during the Academy Awards.
Yeah,
He was
I heard about
posting
this.
stuff
Right.
on Facebook.
Right. Some you know, some you don't, some you think.
He could have been doing it from Hootsuite, though, and had them all.
I highly
set up.
doubt it because I mean if you're sitting at the Academy Awards,
Yeah,
which is like
that's
the top of
true.
the top normal thing,
Right.
you're not gonna be playing on your phone
Right.
and posting pictures too.
And I've seen emails and releases where these celebrities tell the people that work for them, don't post for me from this time to this time.
Right.
Because I'll be playing a basketball game or I'll be on a racetrack. You know, Jeff Gordon, he's got great people that tweet for him. You know, but if he's racing on Sunday, he's probably not going to be tweeting. At least I hope not. Number 3, anybody think they got it? I will tell you that these are all, the top 3 are all musicians. Okay? Anybody know what 3 would be? No? It's Katy Perry. 35,091,678 followers. And she's only following 122. That's kind of crap. At least follow some more people, maybe. 2? Anybody? Really weird chick. Very weird.
Lady Gaga.
That's a great call. Yeah.
Oh, we got that one.
It's Lady Gaga. Crazy ass Lady Gaga.
Wow.
Look at her pictures. She's so weird. 36,255. These numbers are staggering. And I haven't mentioned one person. It's Justin. Can't believe this goofball. Anybody tell him I'm a metal fan at all? 37,000 followers. His message is broadcast to almost 40 million people. Think about what you could do with that. Now, yes, he's global, and you got to think he's obviously very famous and successful, but that's the whole idea about Twitter. That's why I kind of lean more to Facebook. Because Twitter, to me, just always seemed like a very exclusive type of social media. You don't do well with it unless you are famous. I mean, are there any regular people on this list? No. Am I on this? No. I'm not. I'll never be able to be on this list unless Sue hooks me up with a career.
Yeah.
I don't use
Big shit, right?
You're right.
I'm so good at it.
Another thing I want you guys to look at is this metric right here. Average per day. Rihanna, 0. Barack Obama, -26. Meaning that he should be posting, but he's not, right? 0. -8. -11. They're not even tweeting.
How do you have video? Do you like take your tweets away?
I could not find out. I tried to find, when I found this chart, I tried to look, and there's no real definition of it. So, they don't even do anything. They just let it do it. Incredible.
Oh, that's
But do you
followers.
think?
That's followers per day. The average
Right here.
average tweets per day.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. 1, 3, 0, -8, -11. I'm sorry, I'm wrong.
But maybe they did it in the beginning. I've always read that that's how they start
Right.
out. They start out that
That's where the
way.
negative comes into play.
Yeah.
So for example, he may be posting, 11% less than he did per day a year ago, or something like that. That's the closest information I can find of how he did that metric. So, but it's pretty interesting in the negative numbers. That's very interesting.
And then tell us again how that, like, your top people that you follow just come through onto your 404.
Right. It's called trending.
Yeah.
And that's where, you know, this technology is so advanced in what you click and how you click it, it'll remember it. It'll say, okay, Zip really likes pizza. He really likes Michael Jordan, and he really likes, you know, Jennifer McCartney. Or, what's her name?
Lawrence.
Well, yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, there you go. So what I'm going to do is, in that little box on your Twitter account where it says suggested followers, it'll show you Michael Jordan, it'll show you Domino's Pizza, and it'll show you the other one, because it knows. It's scary and exciting at the same time, right? Because no one really wants that kind of control in their lives. It's America, especially in America. Imagine how other countries feel, you know? North Korea, South Korea, they don't even have internet. No internet. Imagine. The Denver Post last year won a Pulitzer Prize for their coverage of the Aurora, Colorado shootings last summer. Very tragic. But the important point in this is that specifically in the area of social media interaction, that was cited in their Pulitzer acceptance speech. So these people, you know, essentially won a Pulitzer through their social media. I mean, you go back 50 years ago and say, hey, in 50 years, somebody won the Pulitzer Prize by hitting a button on a machine. People think you're crazy. Pulitzer Prize is the top award in journalism. And they won it by utilizing the social media and getting their message out to more people. I mentioned this before. Just something the kids are doing right, just a fad. They don't really, you know, it'll go away. It's not a big deal. Nope. Here we see the most important social media sites for teens. So and I know this might be a little hard to see, but there's a light blue box, there's a gray box, and there's a black box, right? The blue box represents spring of this year. The gray box represents fall of last year, and the black box represents spring of last year. So when you look at this trend, it's going down in everything. This doesn't have a black because it wasn't around. Only a few are going up. They're all kind of avalanching back. But this is just for teens, see? The adult market for this is exploding. That's why it's dropping, because you were a teenager. Did you like what your mom and dad liked? No, that wasn't cool. So that's why these new and exciting medias are being created, because everybody wants to have the next thing. Very interesting chart. I thought this was so interesting. And it also shows that, you know, as far as, you know, the teenage revolution kind of started this whole social media deal, but now it's kind of backing off.
Where you got that chart?
TechCrunch. Yep. So, to kind of come around and wrap up Twitter, very basically, it's a less intimate social media than Facebook, meaning that it's really meant for the super influential. That's how you're going to be successful. But you can still have a great message that you get to a lot of customers. You don't have to be super rich or super famous. Twitter is free. It's easy. You can tie it in from your Facebook account, meaning that you post something on Facebook, it automatically posts to your Twitter profile. There's no switching back and forth through the sites and all that. So but it is less intimate. 140 character limit. How many people have gotten to the end of the Twitter and had like one more letter? One more number, right?
Check out our
Yeah, you gotta start going through there and editing. Again, quick messages. That's what will get the customer's attention. You know, hey, this is Zip. We're from X1063 radio station in Huntington, West Virginia. We're a rock station that plays Guns N' Roses, Metallica. We're going to be at by then, do you care where we're going to be? My God. Zip, X1063, Dutch Miller, 3 to 5. Boom. Done. People aren't stupid. You don't have to hold their hand for everything. They know what they're doing. They know what they're looking for. Everybody know what a hashtag is? In my professional opinion, hashtag is the next big thing. I'll tell you, there's not much I see anymore that doesn't have a hashtag with it. You know? Sporting events especially. Super Bowl, huge this year with hashtags. Everybody knows how hashtag works, right? And it's reasoning for it. Okay. The more people you have on Twitter, the more likely it is that someone's going to subscribe to your tweets. It will take some time. You have to build up. I like to call this idea the Twitter lottery. Because in my opinion, I think Twitter works a lot like a lottery. When I first started my Twitter profile, there was a young female Latin singer in Florida that found me on Twitter. And basically what she was wanting a gig in this area, in the West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky area. So although I was in radio through Twitter at this time, not a lot of DJs around here had it, and said, you know, can you help me get a gig here? So I helped her, and in the end, there's not, as you know, Steve, there's not a big market for that kind of music around here. Unfortunately not. You know, I mean, you just got to face facts. And I was very honest and upfront with her when I spoke to her on the phone. Well, come to find out, this chick had about 10,000 Twitter followers and tweeted out, thanks to @ZipOnTheX for helping me try to find the next gig. Great guy. Strongly suggest you follow. Next morning I woke up, I had 350 new Twitter followers. So one person out there is going to see your message. And if it's the right person, you can end up cashing that in for big bucks. We'll speak very, very briefly about Instagram. This is a technology that is definitely leans more female. It is a photo sharing social media. It was actually purchased by Facebook last year, so Facebook now owns Instagram. This is their company motto. This was a way to share. Sorry. But basically, blah, blah, blah. We publish your pictures and share them with your friends, basically is what that's saying. So Instagram is a really effective social media visually, as I mentioned. If you're in my industry, I find my message is more easily conveyed with a photo through Facebook and Instagram. But it's all the same. Again, because they own it. But again, the idea is that they're going to be, and that's bad on my part, because a lot of my audience likes Instagram and uses Instagram. So if I shun it, then that loses my followers, because they don't relate to me anymore. Very tricky. Facebook now owns Instagram. They will soon own the world. Them or Google. One or the other. I'm convinced. It was a huge deal. Happened in April of last year, about this time last year. $1 billion in cash and stock for a little program on the computer. Incredible, right? But they're not paying for the program. They're paying for those users that you have. See? When they bought Instagram, Facebook made sure you knew about it. Oh yeah. All over the news, all over the feed, all over everywhere. Because they want you to know that now they're integrated, you don't have to go two places now. You can do Instagram and Facebook at the same place. How convenient. No, they want you in business. They want you on their server so they can get the information. Pinterest is another social media that we've just kind of started to scratch the surface on in the entertainment business. Pinterest uses these things that are called boards, which you can kind of see in this picture behind. These big pages here, that's what's considered a board. And the idea for Pinterest is that, anything, whether it be, recipe or travel photos, anything visual, anything that you could really tell a story. So it's kind of the opposite of Facebook and Twitter. It's saying a picture is worth 1,000 words. But it's becoming very hot, and we're trying to figure out how to incorporate this into entertainment. That's not hard, right? It's visual, so people like to look at visual things. But think about how many things there are that are entertaining that are visual that people look at. Television, right? Or your favorite website, That's the trick. The strengths for Pinterest is that it's hot right now. You know, every social media has a hot point and a hot time, and this is Pinterest. You know, that's really the one that's sweeping, in my experience. And it just continues to gain momentum as it goes. As people learn about it, more people seem to come because they say, oh, it's not hard. Just get an account and start doing it. And I have started one for one of our radio stations in our cluster, and I'm researching it right now to see how it works out. You know, right now it's proving very effective. And what we do is we take pictures of remotes, or we take pictures of artists, and pin those to our board, and then we have to interact with other people now. Remember what I told you? We can't just be one or the other. Okay, we can't say, come to our site, but we're not going to give you nothing. We have to share, you know. That's the whole idea. In my opinion, what Pinterest allows you to do is have that kind of Twitter experience, but more intimate. Remember I told you Twitter was less intimate than Facebook? I think Pinterest is just a little step higher in terms of that. So what are the weak points of Pinterest? It's not on smartphones. It's weird, right? It doesn't have an app just yet. And when I say smartphones, I don't mean like all phones. I mean like the really super smartphones. You guys have it on yours? Okay. Well, that's from the website. I don't know why it said that.
I mean, I was being...
No, that's fine. Pinterest was wrong. It only really focuses on the photos. It does allow you to add a caption or a note. But again, you want to kick its ass with the image. I mean, that's what you want. You want your image to pop on Pinterest. Again, if you're not really big into photos or you don't have time for that, then this media is probably not for you. But it's really interesting in your personal lives. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that you might not know about that you may find very interesting.
Oh, I've used it.
So, yeah. In terms of your business, it's very tricky. Learn how to do that. Again, these are all medias that I use in entertainment, may not fit with Marathon or with, you know, the convention visitors. Yeah.
Actually, there is a way. Last year I wrote a blog.
Yeah.
And it could work with Marathon if you're, say, creating an ad campaign, because it is a wonderful market research tool. Because people are showing you, people in your demographics are showing you what it is they like, what correlates with what.
Right.
I mean, it's just a wonderful qualitative.
Right. And I find a lot of businesses find it, just as he said, a very useful information getting tool. You know, what do my Pinterest users like and why?
It's also great to run contests.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's huge too. With Clear Channel and contesting, let me explain this. I'm glad you brought that up. You know, Facebook has its policies, but Clear Channel also has policies in regards to that. So we can't use our social media stuff for contesting or for clients straight up because we don't want to get in trouble with Facebook. But Pinterest eliminates that because it's such a relatively new media. Clear Channel doesn't have any policies for Pinterest. Again, this is all stuff I'm researching. So I'm not a Pinterest user per se personally, but it could end up benefiting our station then. So, to wrap things up, just remember that social media will always change. It will never be the same as it was the day before, even the day before, the hour before. Think about the Boston bombings last week, okay? And it's so ingrained in our culture that we can almost predict when it's going to happen. I mean, how many people in this room saw that happen and said, oh my God, Facebook's getting ready to blow up? Because it's a social media. See?
No, I wonder if you just ask everyone how quickly they knew about that blocking situation.
I know that MSNBC broke the news first because the Boston Globe is a conglomerate of NBC. So, and I think the bombings happened about 3:30. We had the story at 4.
I knew about it. It happened at 10 till 3.
Yeah, 10 till, I'm sorry, yeah.
And because I knew someone, and it wasn't the girl from Nashville,
Right.
it was someone from Nashville,
Right.
my friend Stephen. I knew about it 2 minutes after it happened because she was a block away from where it happened.
Right.
And that's what happens when people are tweet. I
When
mean,
they-
she
when they
tweeted
tweet it,
that.
right. Right.
You know?
It's almost become the SOS of our society.
I mean, and it's like, oh my gosh, you know, I mean, it was
think about the what do they call it? The Arabian Spring? Is what they called it in the Middle East last year? Is that what it's called? Think about that. That whole movement got its momentum from social media.
People know when an earthquake is about to come.
Yeah.
Because of Twitter.
You know, so people really that are getting the tweets and this and that are
Right.
knowing about it before.
For the news, right,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, before the
Absolutely.
news feed comes through to the media, you know, we're
Sure.
already.
A great example I have of that is the Buckwild star that died a few weeks ago. Remember that?
Yes.
I wrote the story for our market, for the West Virginia market, and they picked it up.
Oh, wow.
So again, it's all a part of being a part of that huge company that has all that information at your disposal, very organized in terms of our digital leads emailing us and telling, hey, there's been explosions in Boston, they think it's terrorism, post it. I mean, by 3:30, I had 10 emails from my digital lead saying this was hot.
And last night, the same thing happened in the
Wake
Texas
up,
situation.
yeah.
Because another friend of mine in the music industry
Right.
was from Texas, he immediately tweeted it.
Right. For those of you who don't know, there was a huge explosion last night in
Yeah.
Waco.
But I mean, it was like within minutes
Right.
because he was sitting in Nashville, his mom and dad sent him the message and he tweeted it. to
Right.
Everybody.
Exactly.
I mean, it's amazing.
Everybody remembers when they went to school, your English telling you about the who, what, where, when, and why. Remember
Oh,
that?
I can't remember that.
There you go.
one.
Oh, come on. It's the same thing with social media.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you can't just go into it blindly. You have to know who you're looking for, what they want, where they are, how they want it, and why do they want it. Very important. As entertainers, you know, and not necessarily the local DJ people, but I'm talking the Justin Biebers and President Obamas of the world. They are only successful on social media because they interact. Again, it's the whole idea, we don't want to tweet or Facebook to a robot, you know, or a software program. We want to know that we're talking to real people. So the point you brought up about these employees that now work for these people tweeting and Facebooking, you know, that people are catching on. And they're saying, well, I don't know if I'm cool with that. You know, if President Barack Obama isn't seeing what I care about for the country, why do I follow him? And it does cost them sometimes, it does. Don't forget to have fun. Social media is all about having fun. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing it right. Thank you guys so much.